I don't know what it is with Psychotronics, but it seems like everything conspires to like phone me or like hit the doorbell or just do something while I'm in Psychotronics, like right at the start of the recording to like, you know, make me like, you know, go, gotta go back and restart this episode. And that literally happened again with this episode. This is like the second restart, by the way, for this episode now. But whatever. So, to get a few things basically out of the way, I apologize basically for like the last episode. The one where you basically like, you know, saw me basically going for like the labs. It's like sort of like, you know, disheveled because like, you know, I was basically trying to get it done. Because I really hate Psychotronics, and then on top of that, I also had like these interruptions basically happening, so I don't think the episode was that great, but you know, whatever, I basically showed off like, you know, what I basically wanted to show off. So yeah, I'll note basically in this game, we're gonna be coming up to something very interesting, by the way. But we have to go through like this, like, you know, first little bit here, so bear with me while I basically do it. Alright, so I left off basically here at the live exam experiment status. And basically what we're going to be doing here is we're going to experiment on a cadaver. But before we basically jump into it, I actually want to get this set up a little bit, so we are going to basically look for a few things basically to help us out here, if possible. Specifically, I'm looking for explosive canisters, by the way, right now, so let's see if I can find some. I think there's like at least a few in like this level, so we're just gonna go find them and just like, you know, drag them over here.
Hello. You. Excuse me.
By the way, I'm also coming up this way for another thing as well. I never actually scanned these guys, like, I don't think, so let's just scan them now. Oh, we did scan them. Okay. Good to know. We scan them. Alright, where are the explosive canisters I'm looking for? There doesn't appear to be any up here, which is unfortunate. Oh, again, like, you know, I feel like I was transcribing I missed.
We now know the Typhon are capable of, and not capable of, it seems prudent to revisit the Project Cobalt material.
Igor, neuromods can already adapt Typhon material to the human mind. There's no reason in principle the reverse wouldn't work.
Say you managed to insert human neurons into a Typhon. How will you know it was successful?
The new neural structures would need to mature over a series of actual experiences. Or simulated ones.
What?
Simulate the experiences. Calvino, he has...
Right, okay, look, it's fascinating,
Hello,
but let's
are you
focus
here
on
for
what
an
we know is
appointment?
working. I don't want anyone devoting resources to this.
Now, it's worth knowing, by the way, that transcribe I just picked up. I'm actually really happy I just found that transcribe. That's very important, basically, for like the gist of this game, by the way. So, what they're basically just talking about there. Basically, in this game... Oh, is there anything under here? Guess not. Basically, like, this game, what they're basically talking there about, like, you know, inserting, like, you know, things basically into, like, you know, the Typhoon. That's actually something that, like, you know, will become important later on.
Hello. Dr. Yu.
And by the way, I found my canister here, so hooray. We're just gonna drag this all the way back up to, the live exam morgue. But yeah, that live, like, that like, you know, transcribe right there, keep that one in mind, basically, for, like, the very last, like, episode I basically do for this game, because that's when it's basically gonna come apparent what it's basically all about, so it will be important. Alright, where do I want you to basically sit? Right about here, I think. I'll note that explosive canister is going to be very useful to, like, blow up the, like, you know, enemy I'm about to face, by the way, because we're about to face, like, a very tough enemy. if possible, I want to get like a another explosive canister. So there we go. This should do very nicely. Now the reason I'm basically getting these like 2 explosive canisters is that we're about to fight an enemy that's like disgustingly powerful, so to speak. And it's basically disgustingly powerful for like
Hello, Dr.
one real reason basically. And I'm gonna use an EMP charge basically to like make him less power when I get around to it, but things to see when we get to it, so to speak. Alright, let's get the pistol out, or not the pistol, the EMP. So I'll note basically this live exam here. Lab procedure Phantom Genus. Experiment ID live exam series TG5013. Please ensure this cadaver is in the enclosure and activate psychoscopes prior to opening containment cylinder. Alright, so live exam controls. Warning. Psychoscopes activate psychoscopes before initiating experimental procedures. And nobody can basically deploy a null if you want to like disable like the things that this thing basically does, but you'll find that like it's going to actually like not be helpful, but whatever. Basically, once we like this is like activated, this is going to get disabled in a moment. This like terminal.
Warning, examination theater compromised.
Scan complete. More specimens required.
Alright, so, something's popped out!
Warning, examination theater compromised. Warning, examination theater compromised. Live exam terminated.
People are quick to project human features onto things they don't understand. The Typhon kill us without hesitation. But it's not because they're evil. It's because they can't do otherwise. Do you know what we discovered? They lack mirror neurons. For all their wonderful abilities, there's one thing we can do that they can't. Empathize with the suffering of another living creature.
Alright, so I'll note that basically what happened there's basically an enemy that popped out, and basically it's like, electric type of like phantom. And it essentially like, disabled like, the computers and stuff around here. And basically I had to like, kill it. Now, I'll note that first time I basically fought that enemy, it was really tough basically fighting him because like, I didn't like prepare for him for anything like that, and like, he basically like, made me like, have to run back and forth all the way down this hall, like, using like fire to try and kill him, and like, everything else basically kill him. So, a little bit easier basically for me this time around, which is I'm happy about, but whatever. Also need to go heal up, which is nice as well. Now, it's worth noting, you probably saw something that's like, very peculiar about the Weaver here, by the way. So, the idea of this game, by the way, is that the mimics are like, these like sort of like parasites that like, can eat like humans, like, they're like, potential, I guess, in terms into like, this here, for example. And I'll note that the Weavers basically are like, evolved for basically the mimics. And what they can basically do is like, go over to phantoms and essentially turn like, or not phantoms, but they go over to like cadavers of bodies and turn those cadavers basically into phantoms. And I'll note that the basically how this game basically works is that the mimics are basically running around like, eating people. And then after that, like, you'll basically see like the Weavers basically turn them into phantoms, like, make the process even like worse for like people here. But whatever. Let's push on to like the next little bit here, because we're about to like see a nice little like, action scene. Note that basically there's a phantom here getting killed. So I'll note that over here is basically a couple of eradicator turrets.
Eradicator auto turrets. TranStar's last-ditch defense against an outbreak. Flimsy, but they're easy to fabricate. Best part is the built-in psychoscope tech. They can discriminate between alien and human targets. Shouldn't be a problem for you, since you're not an alien.
So yeah, I'll note by the way, this is something very important to note by the way. If you basically invest in alien neuromods and come like down here, you'll eventually have like these turrets basically become like hostile to you, so you have to watch out for that in the future. But anyhow, I'll note this is basically the door to like, the containment facility for like, the Weaver. And eventually like, later on in the game you can basically like, enter here, basically kill the Weaver if you basically want to. And now, my friends, we get to one of the most important things of this game that I've yet to basically cover because it hasn't really been an issue yet. Well, you see, we're about to learn about ethics.
Hey! Hey, over here!
Research complete.
And by the way, there's also research like Homo sapiens here, by the way, so humans! By the way, like, Phantom by Fox called a Voltic Phantom. Essentially, it's like, no interest found because it's an unknown type of, like, typhoon organism. But basically, it is like, it's like, weak to, like, EMP, no wave, and psychic. But immune to, like, electricity and stun. Alright, so. Let's look around here a little bit. You notice something? Alright, anyhow. Transcribe.
I don't mean to be a nuisance, but when do you think we'll get to that breach?
I'm headed out there as we speak.
What do you think happened?
Hard to say until I lay eyes on it. Could be some micrometeoroids punched a hole. Rare, but it happens.
Okay, good. Hopefully it's just that.
Is there something you're not telling me?
No, of course not. It's just that storage room has classified exotic materials. We really can't have it be inaccessible.
I understand.
So, I'll note by the way, like, basically, like, that room's basically inaccessible. And if you go to, like, your, like, objectives, you basically see, like, there's basically a hull breach. And in order to basically get to access to that room, you have to basically, like, use, like, a caulk gun, basically, to, like, seal up, basically, like, the hull breach, basically, out there. Now, note by the way, like, when we're basically, like, you look around in here, there's basically, like, stuff moving around, and still is. That should indicate something's basically in there that we can't see. And if I've already basically fought, like, the poltergeist, so you can probably guess what's basically in there, but whatever. Now, note by the way, like, Ingram over here. There's basically an armory right here, and I could hack into it, but he basically knows the code. So let's just go talk to him.
Come closer. What, you need guns? Ammo? I saw one of them science types go into that armory. Saw him punching the code. You get me out of here, I'll let you have it. My name's Aaron. Aaron Ingram. You know, I used to be a reverend. Training for it anyways. Until I got locked up. Behold, the wicked man conceives evil, is pregnant with mischief, and gives birth to lies. Does that sound like anybody you know?
Alright, so, here's Aaron Ingram.
Most of the other fellows were Russian. I speak a little, but as you can tell, I ain't from there. As you might have guessed, I know my life ain't worth 2 dead crickets, but nobody deserves this.
Alright, let's just, like, zoom in on this for a little bit. So, I'll note that basically in this game, there's volunteers. And this is basically one of them. And as you basically, like, saw, his name is, like, Aaron Ingram. Now, this game basically has an ethics system. Where you can basically, like, make, like, ethical choices. Or, like, you can basically, make, like, unethical choices. And it'll basically impact your, like, end result for this game. And as well as, like, the end story as well. Now, note this basic report on this specific, volunteer right here. So, volunteer information. This is basically volunteer ID VO906551 his date of birth is basically there, his gender, race, admission, institution. Now, basically the idea is like the volunteers in this game, they're all bad people. And this guy here, as you can see, is basically like, guilty of human trafficking, kidnapping, solicitation of a minor, distribution of controlled substance, fraudulent impersonation. So, he's not a great guy.
Hey. What are you reading? My rap sheet, huh? Look, I'm telling you, on my mama's grave, that is a stack of lies meant to make pushing that button easier on you. Okay, fine, listen. I want to be honest. Some of it probably is true. I done some wrong in my days, but this ain't right now. Come on, y'all got to let me out of here.
Alright, so I'll note that basically
I never did anything to those kids. I was just getting them out of a bad spot, that's all.
Alright, I want you to shut up.
The real criminals, they didn't like how I was chipping away at their pile of rubles. They got their claws sunk deep in the government. Got me shipped off. Hey, oh, whoa, whoa, whoa! What the hell are you doing? What's that thing doing in there, huh?
Alright, so I'll note you basically have an ethical choice in this game. And you can make ethical choices, or you can make unethical choices. Now, luckily for this guy, I'm going to make an ethical one.
Now that's what I'm talking about. Some human decency, friend. You're the one person that showed me any real kindness, and you can believe I won't forget it. If you still want that code, it's 8714.
Alright, well, basically helping this guy get you like this code. And if you don't help him, basically you'll get like, 4 mimics that you can basically like, scan or like harvest from.
Listen, you run into any other fellas wearing a green jumpsuit? Watch your ass. Well, they ain't all decent human beings like me. I seen one of the other volunteers come through here, a big guy. The bastard wouldn't let me out. Now I'm glad he didn't. Watched him bash some poor sucker's head in with a wrench. Kept going on and on about black eggs and whatnot. Real disturbed.
By the way, that little like sentence there, that's kind of important for like later on.
You sure you ain't been here before?
Alright, well, let's just see here. Now, I'll note that I am still going for an achievement, by the way, to,
for a bit.
Oh, this go down, please. Alright, there, finally. He talks too much. And you know what? So, I'll note basically we're going for an achievement, by the way.
Morgan, did you hesitate? At all? I'm sure he wasn't a good man, but could you have done otherwise, given the opportunity? The Typhon can only kill and destroy, but you're human. You have a choice.
By the way, you get like a little, snippet from January basically do that, but whatever. Alright, so I'm basically going for achievement as I basically said earlier on, and it basically requires me to kill like all the humans basically come across. But basically going into more detail about like ethics in this game. So ethics basically play a very big part in the outcome for this game. And you'll basically want to basically think about what you're basically doing when you're basically dealing with the humans basically you come across. I'll note there's basically a bunch of humans on this game, in this space station, and you can basically save them or you can basically kill them. And I'm going to try and kill all the humans because I'm basically going for an achievement, but if you basically try and save all the humans, there's actually an achievement for that as well. And I already got that achievement, but just to throw it out there, that's the thing. Now, I'll note that helping out this guy here, it basically gave me access to this armory here, which is nice. I'm not sure if there's anything on the other side of this, like, you know...
Eradicator auto turret version 0.7.6 online.
Of this door here, so let's put this right there for now.
Diagnostic check. Verbose. IFF. Nominal.
Alright, so, basically, yeah, ethics basically play like a big part in this game. And
Contact engineering.
I'll note that basically, like, you know, we're like going through this game, you'll basically, like, you know, make ethical choices that, like, you know, save humans or, like, you know, kill humans and stuff like that. And the thing, like, is that, like, you know, you'll basically have, like, you know, multiple like opportunities basically to, like, display, like, ethical, like, you know, choices. And these basically play, like, you know, a similar role to, like, you know, Bioshock's, like, you know, ethical, like, system where, like, you know, you can basically save the little sisters, or you can basically, like, you know, kill the little sisters. And in Bioshock 2, basically, where, like, you have that moral system where, like, you know, you can basically, like, you know, kill, like, the, like, you know, people you basically come across, like, you know, who basically, like, you know, were, like, in control of, like, you know, things that basically, like, you know, happen in, like, Bioshock 2. And, you know, it's basically a nice, like, little throwback to Bioshock in that sort of way. But anyhow, I'll note we basically got into the armory here. And I'll note by if you want to, you can use, like, the dark gun, basically shoot from, like, you know, this hole, basically to, like, you know, open this up right here. But whatever. I'll note that we have access to, like, you know, pistols here. And look at that, nice big shotgun with, like, 42% like durability, it's just nice to see. So, very nice. And again, pistols are a dime a dozen in this game, for sure. But whatever. I need to, like, start salvaging, like, you know, weapons, I guess, so... that'll be a thing. Shotgun shells fabrication, awesome. Silence pistol fabrication, awesome. Another weapon upgrade kit, awesome. Alright, I'm gonna have to basically fabricate some of this stuff here, I guess, so... we'll be back for this stuff here, I guess. How's that glue gun look, by the way? 14% versus 71%. You're gonna get dropped. We're just gonna take this here. Basically, I'm gonna salvage, like, you know, stuff I'm not gonna take with me, so... yeah, that's a plan, more or less. You know what? I don't need to carry this branch right now, so... well, do I basically want to do that? Let's just go this way for now, I think, and we'll, like, you know, just salvage my stuff, and then we'll come back and deal with it after that. Huh, I missed something here. We'll come back and get it later, I guess.
Hello, Dr. Yu.
I'll notice there's, like, a objective for seal the hull bridge, because basically requires me to go outside and seal it. We're not going to basically worry about it right now, but, you know, it's basically there to, you know, to think about. Alright, here's this recycler. Let's put in stuff like that over here. Here's the side hypos, we're just going to put those in, I guess. This pistol is cool and all. We'll put it in there as well. I don't really care about it now, I can basically fabricate with pistols. We don't need food, so just throw that stuff in there. Actually, have I eaten this food? That's the thing, right? I always want to basically eat food because, like, you know... I'm going for achievement, basically, to, like, eat food. Let's just throw that in there. Now, I'm going to basically throw this shotgun in here as well, because... I don't think I can unload this thing, by the way, so... well, we're just going to throw in the shotgun, basically, like, you know... we'll basically fabricate it into, like, you know, parts for me.
Hello, Dr. Yu. Hello.
And yes, the horror music, isn't it great? I'll know probably the horror music basically starts because there's, like, you know, poltergeist nearby. Over here. And essentially, like, whenever you're near a poltergeist, like, they start, like, this horror music for you to listen to, so... that's what's going on there. Shotgun, get that shotgun. Get this shotgun. Let's get your stuff there. Alright, so.
Hello.
We basically like more or less clear like all Psychotronics except for like one area I basically want to visit, so we'll do that in a moment. Let's just put this in here for now. Put those things in there. And 2. And you can be 1. I'm probably going to save the shotgun just for a little bit because, like, you know, it's a nice, like, you know, durable shotgun. And I think I'm going to be using shotguns quite extensively to, like, you know, win this game, so having a backup's pretty nice. Anyhow, while we're basically in here, turn the power basically back on. I'm just going to creep my way this way. Now, I'm not basically, I want to basically go in here to, like, you know, make the Hultress Bulkcaster. And wow, here's like the reason, like, you know, I like, you know, salvaged this before so I don't have to carry it around. So, pick this up here. We're gonna come back for, like, you know, this stuff here in a moment, but for now, I'm just gonna grab access to this thing here and equip it. Alright, so I'll note that the reason I basically got this like bulk gun is just to show off that, like, you know, there's this door in the morgue. I can use basically the bulk caster to get into the morgue. Now the reason I'm basically showing this off because it basically like shows off, like, you know, another instance where you can basically use this to, like, you know, get into like places you like, you know, you can't like otherwise. Now I'll note there's basically, like, you know, 3 ways basically I know of that, like, you know, it's basically demonstrated to, like, you know, get in here.
Operator approach.
Alright, there we go. And basically there's, like, you know, 3 ways basically like getting into like this area. One is basically wait for the operator basically like to let you in. I tried doing that, by the way. It never actually worked for me, so I'm not really sure it works, but, you know, that's what's basically like said. The other way is basically to, like, you know, use like the mimic, like the mimic like power to, like, you know, mimic yourself into, like, you know, an object like this, like, you know, fall in there. So if you basically, like, you know, mimic matter 1, just like get this, you basically, like, you know, turn into like a cup and, like, you know, can like just throw yourself in there. Let's just see if I can basically find something small you can basically like mimic into. So basically, like, you grab this, like, you know, bar of soap, and if you use like mimic matter, you can basically turn yourself into like a, like, you know, bar of soap, and then, like, you know, you can, like, you know, slip your way into like these, like, you know, things that way. I'm actually very tempted to show it off. Maybe I'll, like, you know, just save it right here for a moment. So let's do a quick save. And I do have like the neuromods basically do it right now, so here's like an example where you can basically use like mimic matter basically to like to do stuff. So, oh yeah, this is gonna be like my first time basically getting this as well, by the way. So, what's Jennifer gonna say to me, I wonder? Oh, we fall down. By the way, this is my first time ever getting an alien power to begin with, so...
Happening?
Don't let them do this to you.
It's in shock.
How does it feel? Do you remember? The first time you said it was like you were outside yourself, like time itself had bent its knee, waiting for you to decide. You moved my chair without touching it. It gave me chills. The possibilities. You became something new that day. Something higher. I knew then, as I believe now, that our mission is to lift up all humanity in the same way.
Alright, so there is a little bit about side targeting. So some powers are triggered instantly by pressing mouse 2. Some powers are targeted to stop time in inter-side target mode. Press and hold on mouse 2. Use mouse to aim. Press mouse to execute power. Blah blah. Have to cancel. Alright, so yeah, basically you use like min-matter to like do stuff. Alright, can I turn into this like, soap bar, please? Alright, it doesn't want me to turn into like soap here, so let's just go find a coffee cup or something like that, I guess. This'll work. Isn't it fun watching me like, screw around with stuff like this, but whatever. There we go. So yeah, I'll note that basically while you're in like this mimic mode, you can basically like, get into like here if you basically want to that way. That's like the second way basically into, or like the operator basically like, letting you in. But for our purposes, by the way, is it this one or is it the other one? We'll basically find out in a moment. Nope, not this one. So it's the quick save. For our purposes, basically for like this playthrough, I'm like not going for like a power like type of thing. So we're just gonna use the boltcaster, and that's how we're just gonna open this up. Alright, so I'll note that basically like, the bolt basically like hit right here. And that's the thing about these flexible bolts. They can be like used to open doors and stuff like that, which is very nice. But whatever. Let's get this. Let's get that. Let's get those bullets. Fires the keycard to the morgue, so basically if you want to get out now you can. Alright, let's just throw this stuff right here. All the poor dead volunteers, but whatever. I'll note there's some like, very shady stuff basically sort of happens in this game. And yeah, you're essentially killing volunteers to turn them into like, mimics and stuff like that, you can probably like, grasp basically the idea basically like, at this point, so let's just go to it. Basically the idea of this game is like, we basically take like volunteers, who are basically prisoners from like, the Soviet like, states or like, America. And we essentially like, take them to be like, turn into like, mimics or like, turn into like phantoms so we study them. And essentially we like kill them that way, of course, and they didn't volunteer to be killed, but sucks to be them, I guess. Now, basically, when you like these like guys are like killed, they like when they're turn like the mimics, for example, like the mimics basically multiply, and like that's how basically like TranStar gets its exotic materials. Basically, they breed mimics, and like those mimics are basically used to like make like they kill mimics to get the exotic materials from the mimics, and then like at that point, basically like they can like make neuromods like Sci-Hypers and such. That's basically like what's going on with like these volunteers here.
This isn't the first time a Typhon organism has broken containment. It happened before, shortly after your initial neuromod tests. You and Alex fought about terminating the project, evacuating, but Alex insisted he could control the situation. That's when you began implementing secret contingencies, hiding the plan for your arming key, videos, the January protocol. Your concerns have proven to be correct.
Alright, so yeah. Basically, like, you're also getting, like, briefing of, like, basically what's happened between you and Alex. So, I'll note that basically, like, you and Alex were, like, both, like, fully in basically on studying, like, the Typhoon. But when they basically broke containment, you start to, like, think, like, if they can break containment, humanity's at threat. So, basically, the idea here is, like, you want to help humanity, by the way, but, at the same time, you don't want to basically endanger, like, all of humanity as well. So, it's sort of like a balancing act. Basically, like, you have the option, basically, like, helping all of humanity and elevating it up with, like, this technology. But at the same time, if, like, you know, all goes wrong, then, like, you know, humanity's gonna be lost. But whatever.
Operator approach.
Let's get up here. Alright, so, we've basically gone through, like, you know, all Psychotronics at this point. There is, like, a little bit more to, like, you know, I could visit. Of course, basically up in, like, the lab areas, so... This is, like, you know, pointing this out again. I'll note, basically, like, you know, I did, like, you know, an episode, basically, like, you know, talking about, like, you know, how, like, you know, mobility can, like, help you out. I'll note that, basically, for, like, getting up to, like, this, like, rafters up here, you probably need to have, like, a bit of mobility, because it's just so high, basically, to get up to.
Hello, nice to see you.
Like, there's, like, no good way, basically, like, you know, getting up, like, to, like, you know, these, like, spots up here, really, so... Unless you, like, you know, have, like, mobility, you're probably not going to be able to get up to, like, those bodies. Alright, maybe you can if you're, like, go over this way, maybe, so... This is probably really risky because it's really stupid to do this, but, you know... Let's see if I can, like, you know, get up over here.
Hello, are you here for an appointment?
Alright, you can get up here by yourself. Cool. Now, you want to be very careful up here because, like, you know, stuff can happen. And now I got milk space to fight. Alright, so, on the basically, like, you know, another body place to get up to. And then on top of it, there's, like, another body up here.
Here for an appointment?
And this guy's got skeletal repair stuff. You know, I really should, like, take items to throw him, but, you know, whatever. Oh well. Yeah, there's basically stuff up here you can basically grab, so why not? I'll note that you do this, like, game, by the way. Humans basically tried to hide as best they could to, like, avoid being, like, you know, killed by, like, the mimics and stuff like that. But the mimics basically would still, like, find their way basically up to him and, like, kill him. So, unfortunately for them, they can never really evade the mimics and stuff like that, but whatever. Alright, let's just see here. I know I already ate jelly eels, but whatever.
Hello, nice to see you.
Alright, where did mimics all go? You know, it's like one of the things about mimics, right? They, like, hide in plain sight, so it's like, you know... Where are they? I do not know. They went away somewhere. Alright, let's just throw stuff in here. We already ate our apples, so let's just throw these in here. We'll throw those in here. Now, I don't think there's, like, another option where, like, you really need, like, the bulk caster to do stuff, so... it should be good, basically, not to worry about the bulk caster from, like, this point on, but whatever. You know, I really should, like, you know, demonstrate the lure at this point. I've got, like, a bunch of them at this point to, like, do stuff, but whatever. You can go in there. I don't really care about the trauma stuff just yet. Actually, I'm not really going to get much yield from this, but, you know, I'll still put it in there, I guess, to begin with. Right now, I'm basically thinking, like, you know, what I want to keep and what I want to, like, dick, so to speak. So, we can basically have, like, more room for, like, the next bit. Alright, well, let's just recycle stuff here, I guess. You know, I wish there was like a more permanent way of like, you know, fixing that, but whatever. Pop. Well, I'll pull the science pistol and basically, like, you know, make our way basically like next area, I guess.
Hello. Hello, Dr. Yu.
You know, one of those mimics disappeared or not, so
Hello.
that could be a thing.
Nice to see you.
Oh, I thought that's the mimic I basically killed there, but whatever. Alright, so
Hello, Dr. Yu.
this basically intrudes, like, you know, the episode for, like, you know, Psychotronics, like, you know, the end of it, so to speak. We basically had, like, you know, that, like, interesting, like, you know, encounter with, like, the Voltic Phantom. We gotta do, like, an ethical choice. I got to show off, like, the, like, you know, ways into, like, the morgue over there, which is, like, you know, always fun. We're about to get to, like, my like, least, like, part of the ship, so to speak, because, like, you know, we're gonna go into the guts, but whatever. You know, I forget how, like, you basically get in here, but you eventually get into there, but, you know, whatever.
Scanning target, no alien.
Go to the guts. So, I'll note that guts basically stands for, Gravity Utility Tunnel System. And essentially the idea of, like, this, like, you know, system is that, like, you know, is how you basically, like, you know, transport, like, goods within the station. Essentially, like, you use, like, the vacuum of space, essentially, to, like, you know, transport stuff, so that's what's going off it. And what's very, like, you know, what I basically, like, sort of dislike about this section is because, essentially, microgravity means, like, there's no error or anything like that. And by the way, if I want to basically, like, fix myself up here, if I, like, you know, have, like, hacking skill and, like, you know, there's a fabricator here, I guess, like, you know, which is good to see, or a recycler, rather. So I can come back here and recycle stuff if I need to, I guess. Note, so basically, like, a guy making uses level letters and stuff like that. So, Eric Berger. Blah, blah. Just turns to stuff into stuff. Alright, so, the guts. Basically, the idea of the guts, by the way, is that, like, you know, zero gravity. So yeah, we're gonna have, like, a spacewalk inside the station, so to speak. And, you know, it's worth, like, noting, by the way, I really like, you know, this, like, water levels in, like, you know, most, like, FPS type of games. And this is what it's, like, sort of like, feels like. It's, like, you know, gravity utility system, because basically you're, like, you know, in, like, sort of like a water level, so to speak. But whatever. That'll be for next time. Hope you guys basically enjoy, like, this episode, like, you know, for what it's basically worth. And we'll just go from here. So take care.